Who cares? Who cares? I don't know. I don't know. Forget it. This is not a big deal. Whatever this is not a big deal. Okay, here we are. Here we are. We're going to do this. We're going to do this thing. This is actually the second time I'm doing this thing. I tried to do it before, wasn't really thrilled about it. It just sat on my computer for like a month. This was like pre-pandemic. And then there was the pandemic thing that happened, and now it's just like, I don't even know why I'm listening to that. Oh, see, I'm not even with it. I'm not even together here. It's nice to listen to myself, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good when I'm with the guys. It's a mess out there, right? It's crazy. It's all mixed up, and you got papers all over the place with to-dos and what are you going to do next with creative, or you're working at a job if you're lucky enough to still have a job. And how are you supposed to track your work? Because some jobs don't actually like to have an institutionalized project management system. That's a problem, but maybe a problem for another video. The point here is that Trello is your friend. And in fact, I was just sharing with another friend, being able to look at my production schedule and see what I am, what I'm working on, what I want to work on, and what I have accomplished. To see that column of all of the stuff that I've accomplished is probably one of the most satisfying things in my life right now. Yes. In the past 2 years, I've become a little bit of a project management, data, organizational nerd. And I'm okay with that. So let's take a look. This is Trello. This is a completely free-to-use application, and you can create however many boards you want to kind of manage whatever it is you want to manage, whether it is a shopping list, household chores. Maybe you have a one-on-one meeting with your boss, and you want to track the issues that need to be discussed. This is a great way to do it. How I use it is purely creative. And the centerpiece of that creative, and I'll show you some of the other stuff, but the centerpiece is my production schedule board. Now, the way Trello works is that, and I know this might be a little overwhelming when you first glance at it, but the way that Trello works is it's called Kanban. It's a Kanban board, meaning each column is a lane, and then inside the column are these cards, and the cards are what you can manipulate and create different things with. But I have 2 columns with ideas. These are the backlog. These are the inspiration, and even my writing ideas column, that probably is going to spin off into a whole other board itself. But the premise of this production board right now is I set a goal for myself to do something creative every single day. That creative is boiled down into 2 basic categories: writing and video. So I put the backlog, the hopper, if you will, right at the front of the board. And sometimes they're just nuggets that are going to be expanded on. Sometimes it's really detailed, but it's these are just short stories or missives, little snippets of creative for my website, krumbine.com. Each video idea, and you'll see actually labels on everything, but these little things up here, this little yellow thing, click that, there, ooh, I just figured it out. So what's great about Trello is that it's cross-platform. It's beautifully cross-platform. I'm using it right now through the web browser. They have the Mac app, iOS, Android, and it's all cloud-based. So, your data, your information, your projects are with you wherever you go. Perfect. So you've got your columns, you've got the hoppers, the backlog. These are the things to do, in progress, things that you're actually working on, and finalizing, right? So I just did my new video intro animation, and now I just have to kind of finalize it and grab a screenshot just so that I can have that visual representation in the card. A little note to myself over here, when I finish a big project, like my last Lego Wizard video with the Triceratops, and then I post it online, and I have what I like to call creative postpartum. Like, you finish this big project and then you put it online, and then you wait for, all of the praise and the love and the likes and blah 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 blah. But that has nothing to do with the actual creative process and keeping yourself busy and doing the things that you like. So the tip to myself, the reminder to myself, is I've got the big creative project that does go online. It's going to live online. And then there's other things that aren't creative projects, but it's a way to kind of just keep my brain occupied in that postpartum, period. And that's what this is at the top of my list here, on top of my in progress list, because I know as soon as I finish the project, I'm going to look at this card right here. Hey, asshole, pivot immediately to piano, the ukulele, or a Lego set. These are all projects that aren't going out for public consumption. So it's 100% purely me. And it's a way to kind of like redirect the brain to a different place from that postpartum creative black hole. So anyway, that's why I have that right up there. But otherwise, everything else these are things that are actively being worked on. Now, if you put a little emoji in your card here, in your lane, and you move something over, you get a little confetti. Isn't that nice? And this is what I'm talking about. I've got the completed videos lane and then the completed writing lane. And this is what it is. It's like you can drop a cover photo in here, and for my YouTube videos, it's literally just that. It's the thumbnail to the video, right? Usually it's the title of the video. I might have inside this like the whatever script that I was working on, or the story notes or whatever. And then under attachments, you can link directly to the video or put it in your comments. So I actually can play that video right here inside Trello. I have access to that link. And that's super handy. Completed videos, that's what that looks like. And then completed writing. I don't even know if I'm recording this right now. I think I am. It's going to be awkward if I'm not. Where's my thing? Let's double check that this is recording. Yes, it is. Fantastic. Okay, what's cool about Trello? You can set it up however you want. It's to track information. So it's to track your process. And it's as simple as, to do, doing, done. That's the core premise. Create a list, those 3 columns, and then you build it out and customize it for you, for your process. So think about what your process is. Start with those 3 columns and then just build out on top of that. So a feature in Trello is labels. Labels is extraordinarily handy. This is how I've set it up using some of the default labels. I've got a label for my Lego Wizard videos. I've got a label for animation, other videos, typography, behind the final cut, and writing. What labels does for you is, again, in addition to adding context, extra context to your cards. So if you go into the search function and you do search cards, you can search by label. And what this is actually doing is just like filtering all of your content by that subject matter. So if I just want to look at everything that I have labeled Lego Wizard, boom, there it is. I can look at my completed video column, see that there's 19 cards in it, but of those 19 cards, I'm just looking at my Lego Wizard ones. I've got these 2 ideas sitting, waiting to be done, and there you go. If I want to just look at, let's uncheck that one. Let me just look at behind the final cut. A lot less productive in that category. And this is actually a good time. Right now, I am working on the Trello video and making space for creatives. And that's actually a really good point. Let's take a minute here and talk about what it means to organize your process and what it means to organize your creative. Because, right, if you're watching this video, then you already know this thing is a jumbled fucking mess, and you're easily distracted, and you want to do this thing, or maybe you'll spend all day editing, like I did yesterday, a 10-second title sequence. It's easy to lose track of things, to get sidelined, or to be overwhelmed with ideas. Did that ever happen to you? There's all these things you want to do, but you don't even know where to start. And the philosophy here, the idea here, is to make sense of what it is you want to do, what your ideas are, log them, because now I can go back to old ideas or combine this new idea with this other idea that I had, a year ago, and suddenly I've got a fully formed short story ready to write. It's a way to clear the clutter, free up that brain space so that you can sit down and write. So you can sit down and animate and make informed decisions about what it is you're going to do next. It is as simple as that. It is being organized so that you can make space for creative. That's the value in Trello. You don't have to use Trello, but if you want to be serious about creative, whether in your personal life or even professionally, and I do speak from experience on a professional level, you do need to be organized, and you do have to track what it is you're doing and what those ideas are. That's really everything I had to show here. This is my Trello board. This is my production schedule Trello board. It's my board. It is so satisfying being able to just scroll through all of these videos that I've produced, and now even my short stories and writing is filling out, and that's lovely too. What I want to do real quickly is walk you through some of the other examples of how I've executed a Trello board. So I have with Tiffany here our movie media schedule, because how often does this happen for you? Like, you get these suggestions and recommendations, and you think, I want to watch this movie, but I've forgotten, by the time I got to the TV, what it was that I wanted to watch, and then we're, confronted with the endless scroll of Netflix. So, how do we plan for any of that? Create a Trello board of the stuff that you want to watch, and just track it that way. We have Goodreads for books, but we don't have something really viable or well established for movies and television. I don't get that. Maybe someone can get on that. Emily, looking at you. Episode board here. I'm going to talk about this version, but I'm going to show you the old version that I actually recorded last time I shot this, because right now it doesn't look like much. But this is what I was using to actually storyboard a more complex Lego Wizard video. If it requires that much extra thought, because a lot of the animation that I do is actually in reverse, so I try to map it out clearly so that I'm not overwhelmed when I sit down and I shoot. Even though there are small, simple stuff, sometimes it gets a little bit more complicated. So I used this episode board to actually storyboard, and taking sample photos with my iPhone before, just on the kitchen table before I even came into the animation room. And this is how it worked. Like, I had the notes column, which was just some rules for how I was going to shoot the episode. And then the actual shots. And then from there, it's just like moving it, once I start working on it, moving it into that working column or that in progress column. And once it's done, move it on over to done. And once you clear that board, boom, you're done. You shot everything. It's time to start editing, which is my favorite part anyways. There is a ton of reference Trello boards out there. So whatever it is you're looking to do, just Google it, and there are templates, there are instructions. The templates right here are phenomenal. You can drill in here and, like I was saying, business, design, education, whatever it is you want to do, project management. I'm a giant nerd. It's all here. So if you need a starting point, Trello has tons of helpful resources to get started. One of the things that I pulled was this novel, a 3-act approach, because it was such a great way to distill down. And I have a couple of examples of this, but a great way to distill down the structure of story and what those beats are that you need to be hitting when you're writing this long form content. Even short form, it's the same basic premises. So this is a public board that you can just duplicate and start rebuilding for your own novel or your own screenplay or your own short story or whatever it is, to start mapping it out. That's another big thing that I'm using Trello for, is my writing projects. So in the production board, obviously, we already saw like my little short stories and stuff. And the book that I'm working on right now is called Punch Drunk and All Out of Fucks, an Abraham Owens novel. This is about my very unlikely superhero. His power is empathy, and he can take a punch, but primarily it's empathy, which is actually more of a super weakness than anything else. And the whole point is like, this is all laid out. I've figured out like all of the beats, and I can go in now, and this is what I will be doing later today or tomorrow, picking, this first story point, this first opener, and just start writing it out. Again, it's that idea of, making room for creative. You have these ideas, figure out how to organize them. If you're going to write a book, you got to organize these thoughts. Stephen King is probably the only author that I know of that can actually write free form without fucking outlining jack shit. Everyone else outlines and ideates and brainstorms and builds structure in their stories. If you can do it the other way, go for it. This is what makes sense for me, and this is what works for me. Let's see. The other thing I've done, I created a very small list, just a starting point. I'm trying to pick up piano, which is hard to do without a piano, but I have a little keytar that I can work with. And, I just wanted to start tracking the songs that actually, or pieces of music that mean something to me that I would like to eventually play. Oh, this was actually really cool. Over in the working section, you can actually link to other Trello boards. So again, book and writing ideas, like that's the top level index of all the things that I want to do. And then for Punch Drunk and All Out of Fucks, let me go ahead and link directly to the actual storyboard and the outline for that book that I'm working out of. How cool is that? That's so fucking tight, man. That's amazing. Okay, I told you. I told you. Giant organizational nerd at this point. What else have I got? Music again. So just ideas that I've had and then completed the same way. This could actually be, this could be rolled into the production schedule. I just don't produce music as frequently as I produce anything else. So that's why that actually makes sense as a separate board. But the same thing. Like, this is how you can apply it to music creation. Start logging your ideas. You can add almost any attachments to this. Any file can be attached, or link, and link it out to where the final asset is. So let's be that, Google Drive right here to the actual MP3 for Let's Be Dinosaurs. Trello, man, I'm telling you, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I've tried to use it as a journal. You could just create columns for months and then just track, just type up notes that you might have. This is very collaborative as well. So you can go in here and, share all of your production with a partner or multiple partners. It's a great way to collaborate in a shared space like that. What else have I got here? I think that's kind of all of it. Have you used it before? Are you going to use it? Are you going to try it out? Take some time, poke around with it, see if it fits into your life, fits into your creative space. See if it makes room for more creative. It's about all I got for now. Stay quarantined. Stay creative. Talk to you later.